On the morning of December 7, 1941, the tropical calm of Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, was shattered by the roar of aircraft engines and the thunderous explosions of bombs and torpedoes. The Imperial Japanese Navy had launched a meticulously planned surprise attack aimed at crippling the U.S. Pacific Fleet and securing Japan's dominance in the Pacific. The plan, conceived months earlier, was bold and audacious. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the mastermind behind the operation, knew that a preemptive strike could give Japan the upper hand in its expansionist ambitions across Asia. The Japanese task force, consisting of 6 aircraft carriers and a host of supporting vessels, stealthily made its way across the Pacific Ocean. Maintaining radio silence to avoid detection, as dawn broke, the first wave of 183 Japanese aircraft, including bombers, torpedo planes, and fighters, took off from their carriers positioned north of Oahu. At approximately 7:55 a.m., the first bombs fell on the unsuspecting naval base. The attack commenced with devastating precision, targeting Battleship Row, where the fleet's mightiest vessels were moored. The USS Arizona was one of the first to be hit. A bomb penetrated its forward magazine, triggering a cataclysmic explosion that ripped the ship apart, killing 1,177 sailors almost instantly. The ship's fiery destruction became a symbol of the attack's brutality and the immense human cost. Nearby, the USS Oklahoma suffered a similar fate. Struck by multiple torpedoes, it capsized, trapping hundreds of men inside its hull. Heroic efforts by rescuers saved many, but over 400 sailors perished. Chaos reigned as the second wave of 170 Japanese planes arrived around 8:40 a.m., intensifying the destruction. The attackers targeted airfields, aiming to neutralize any potential aerial counterattack. Rows of U.S. aircraft, parked closely together to prevent sabotage, became easy prey for strafing fighters and dive bombers. Nearly 200 planes were destroyed or damaged, rendering the U.S. air power impotent. Despite the surprise, pockets of resistance emerged. Anti-aircraft gunners fought back, and some American pilots managed to take off and engage the enemy. Amidst the smoke and chaos, acts of valor were plentiful. Men like Chief Petty Officer John Finn manned their stations and fired at the attackers despite grievous injuries. By 10 a.m., the attack was over. The Japanese task force, having achieved a stunning tactical success, withdrew. The toll was staggering. 8 battleships were damaged, with 4 sunk. 3 cruisers, 3 destroyers, and several auxiliary ships were also hit. Over 2,400 Americans were dead, and another 1,000 wounded. The harbor was a scene of devastation, with oil fires burning and wreckage littering the waters. President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed the nation the following day, calling December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. His words resonated deeply with a stunned and grieving America. Congress swiftly declared war on Japan, propelling the United States into World War II. The strategic consequences of the attack were profound. While the Japanese had inflicted severe damage, they failed to destroy key facilities such as fuel storage, repair docks, and submarines, which allowed the Pacific Fleet to recover more quickly than anticipated. Crucially, the U.S. aircraft carriers, the future linchpins of naval power, were not in the harbor and thus escaped destruction. The attack was meticulously planned by the Japanese, aiming to cripple the U.S. Pacific Fleet and thereby prevent American interference with Japan's expansionist goals in Southeast Asia. The assault was executed in 2 waves, involving 353 aircraft, including fighters, bombers, and torpedo planes. The attack on Pearl Harbor remains a critical study in military strategy, intelligence, and the impacts of wartime surprise attacks. It also serves as a solemn reminder of the costs of conflict and the importance of preparedness and vigilance.